let me start with the opening and the brief presentation. So and we should also record the session. I don't know, Torben, if you are you have started with the recording of the session. Yes. Okay. So dear IntelComp stakeholders, welcome to this workshop, and thank you very much for being here. It's great to have you back here because it was in October 2022 when the Artificial Intelligence Living Lab kickoff event was launched, and a great deal of work has been devoted to IntelComp during this time. As such, the project has evolved and improved at a fast pace. And right now we are in right position to share some insights, some underpinnings from one of the most outstanding tools of IntelComp, the Interactive Model Trainer, IMT. So before diving into the workshop, let me clarify some previous and important ideas. I will try to raise these ideas very briefly, because as you know, the workshop has a very tight schedule. The first idea has to do with the workshop goals. The workshop has two basic goals. First is to share with you some of the main improvements of Project IntelComp, and in particular to provide the basics of the Interactive Model Trainer tool, which, as it will be explained, may be considered as the heart of the project. And a second goal is to get you involved in a co-creation activity, so as to get some high-level feedback from you, from the IntelComp stakeholders. And this is done in order to help customize or fine-tune the definition of the IMT, the Interactive Model Trainer functionalities. And this is grounded for the Artificial Intelligence Living Lab case, because you know that there are 3 different living labs. One of them is founded on artificial intelligence. So this is the first idea. This is about the basic goals of the session. And we have also a second idea to emphasize. Let me reinforce that this online event is the prelude to 1 or 2 face-to-face sessions that will take place at the Spanish Foundation for Science and Technology, FESIT, in June. So I will provide further details on this face-to-face session at the end of the event. Okay. So let me give the floor to the protagonist of the event. It's you, the stakeholders. So please, we ask you to introduce yourself so we can meet each other and create an appropriate atmosphere to explore co-creation. Okay. So to break the ice, I'm starting with my presentation. So my name is David Gago, and I'm the coordinator of the Artificial Intelligence Living Lab from the IntelComp project. Okay, I don't know, Joseba, if you are there.
Hi. Hello, David. Well, my name is Joseba San Martin. I work at the Spanish Foundation for Science and Technology, FESIT, and we are coordinating the IntelComp project.
Asier, please.
Perfect. My name is Asier. I come from Entity Data. I'm an innovation coach, and I will be facilitating today's workshops and hopefully also the next ones. I've been also working in the methodology that we have been applying the living labs of IntelComp. So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Aurélien, please.
Hello, I'm Aurélien Lenné. I'm from the Observatory for Science and Techniques in France, part of the higher Council for Evaluation of Research, and I'm involved in the health living lab of the IntelComp project.
Thank you very much. Please, Maria.
My name is Maria Linaza. I work at Bicontech, and that's an applied research center in the north part of Spain. Here I'm representing AMETIC and the AI Commission from this association.
Thank you very much. María Barroso, please.
Pero que nosotros esa información no disponemos de ella.
I think she's gone. I will proceed with the following one, with the next one, sorry. Daniel Jimenez.
Hello everyone, I'm Daniel Jimenez from NTT-Data. I'm responsible of the communication and the exploitation task in the IntelComp project. A pleasure to be here with us. Hello.
Okay, thank you very much. Javier Díaz, please.
Hello everybody, I am a computer technician. I work supporting the project with David and Maria Barros on Sedia.
Okay, thank you very much. Jerónimo Arenas, please.
Yes. So hello everyone. My name is Jerónimo Arenas from the University Carlos III of Madrid, and I'm the technical manager of the project. And in particular, our team is one of the main responsibles for the development of the interactive model trainer, which is the main focus for the workshop for the session today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Jesus Cid, please go ahead.
Hello, I am Jesus Cid from the Universidad Carlos III. I am also working with the team of Jerónimo, and also in particular I've been working in the domain classifier, which is part of one of the components of the model trainer.
Okay, thank you very much. Next one is Juan Gerardo Muros, please. Thank you very much. Juan Gerardo, are you there? Can you hear me?
Hi. I don't. Sorry, I just already connected. What's going on? Is a presentation?
Yeah, this is a brief presentation. If you please can introduce yourself.
Okay, a few words. I'm an aeronautical engineer, so I have a master in astrophysics. And right now I'm performing my thesis, my PhD in Granada University, regarding machine learning and deep learning coding. Yeah, this is
Okay.
more or less my background.
Thank you very much, Juan Gerardo. Next is José Antonio Espinosa, please.
Hi, I'm José Antonio Espinosa, and I'm one of the technical members of the University Carlos III that Jerónimo mentioned.
Okay. Thank you very much. Next, we have Juan Martínez. Juan, are you there? Can you hear me? It seems that something's happening with Juan. Let's proceed with Lorena Calvo, please.
Hi, my name is Lorena Calvo, and I'm also from the University Carlos III of Madrid, and I have participated in the development of the topic modeling part within the interactive topic modeling.
Okay, thank you very much, Lorena. Next, we have Lorena Roldán.
Hi everyone, I work in NTT-Data and I'm in charge of communication task and dissemination in IntelComp.
Okay, next we have Maria Teresa Linaza. I don't know if Maria Teresa, you have introduced yourself before.
Sorry, because
Okay,
sometimes it only appears Maria, and I now realize that.
Yeah, it was my fault.
Sorry for that.
Okay, Next, we have Juan Carlos Mariscal. Please go ahead. Juan Carlos, are you there? No. Okay. Next, we have. I only see the surnames. Prado Herrero. Sorry, I can't see your name. Please, could you introduce yourself?
Sorry, the mic was out. Well, my name is Pedro Prado from the Autonomous Community of Madrid, and I'm working in the direction of research and innovation of this community. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Pedro. And then we have Torben. Torben Bete, please.
Good morning, everybody. I'm a project manager at FACIT within the IntelComp project.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. So let's start with the different presentations. So now it's time to Joseba San Martin from FACIT, who is giving us some insight on what has been done in IntelComp over the last few months. So the floor is yours, Joseba.
Thank you, David. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Can you see it? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So just a brief update of the project. Okay. So what is the IntelComp project? The IntelComp is a European project funded by Horizon 2020 to build a digital platform to help science, technology, and innovations policymakers by exploiting large volumes of documents with text analytics. Now we have in this area, we have digital records of all research and innovation activities. We have millions of documents. We also have a big evolution in the automatic text analytics. So a platform like IntelComp can get novel information from the data. That's what we are aiming at. So we can get insights that previously what were not possible with the data that we had. The platform is mainly aimed at policymakers and research funders. A platform based on text analytics can provide new information, as I mentioned before. So we can get, for instance, granular information on R&D trends. We can reduce manual processes in the evaluation of proposals for funding. And we can also gather the feedback from other actors, from citizens, research and industry stakeholders on STI policies, that is on R&D trends, mainly on societal needs. Okay, so what is the IntelComp platform? It's an integrated platform. That is, it's not a unique tool or a bunch of tools not related. This is an integrated platform deployed at the Barcelona Supercomputing Center that includes services and tools to collect and process the textual data, to calculate new indicators based on this textual data, and to show them. So we are going to see the status of these services and tools now in the project, the services and tools to collect and process the textual data, the services and tools to calculate new indicators, and also to show these new indicators. So what do we have here? The services to collect and process documents. We have developed, tested, and deployed several services. Systems to ingest the data sets, systems to pre-process the text, that is to convert the unstructured text to structured data and to translate them. Here in the figure, we have that at the bottom. Okay. Let's move on to the next services. Services to process textual data. We have a classifier to identify the documents in a domain. That's it. If we have a collection of patents, for instance, we can detect the patents related to the artificial intelligence domain. And we also have a services to extract the main themes in a collection of documents. That's it. Once that we had a collection of a set of patents in artificial intelligence, we can get the main themes in this collection of documents. We have both of these services are part of the interactive model trainer tool. This is the focus of this workshop, the tool that I'm going to explain in a moment. And these services are all available at the IntelComp GitHub account that you can access. This is public. Okay. So what is the interactive model trainer? It's just a tool to train the services that process the textual data. So this has already been deployed at the Barcelona Supercomputing Center, and it helps experts in a specific domain, for instance, in artificial intelligence, to validate and optimize the identification of documents in the domain and the extraction of the main themes. If you are familiar with topic modeling, that's this extraction of the main themes is done via topic modeling. Okay, this interactive model trainer in the figure is in the right side. Okay, and here is the user that can get a collection of documents from the data sets once they are pre-processed, translated, and then this user he can select the documents in artificial intelligence, for instance, and then he can extract the main themes. Okay. So we also have systems to calculate new indicators useful for STI policymakers based on this text data. Okay, so for instance, we can have the topics in patents related with artificial intelligence. We get granular information that previously was not available on these patents on artificial intelligence. Okay, this is at the bottom. We calculate this is KPI, that is indicators, and with this specific tool that is called the KPI calculator. And last, we can show these indicators in the STI viewer. Okay, here we have the user again, and the STI viewer, what it does is this is already deployed at the Barcelona Supercomputing Center, and it shows these indicators at the end for policy analysts to perform this kind of analysis that previously was not available. So that's all for my part.
David, sorry, you're on mute.
You're mute, yeah.
Sorry. So thank you very much, Joseba, for your presentation. Now, Asier Loper from Entity Data will share the basics of the co-creation activity. This is the activity that is orchestrating the rest of the session. So Asier, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Before starting, I would like also to suggest also to talk about the agreements you can see here in the top, because we don't want this to be a formal presentation. We also want to hear your feedback, your opinion. And that's why we will be planning some activities during this workshop. And that's why it's important also to respect the times of the exercises. Okay, we will.
Sorry, are you sharing your screen?
No, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
No, in a moment. Sorry. Yeah, I was here in the top part.
Okay.
Yeah, I was saying that it's important to respect the times that we give you. Okay. We also ask you to be present. We know that nowadays working from home or online, it's difficult when someone writes us an email or a message, but we ask you to be present if you can, and if you have to attend an emergency, you can write us in the chat so that we can take that into account for when we work in groups. We also ask you to be active listening, okay, just to make suggestions to what people say, not only in our groups, but also in the general chat. And also, we would like you to turn on the cameras if you can, to meet you and to see you. Okay. So now, speaking about methodology, design thinking, I could say that it's an approach or methodology that we have been experimenting in IntelComp for solving complex problems in new ways. Today, we will start, first of all, emphasizing with our users, in this case you, hopefully, knowing a bit who you are, talking, observing, and even inviting you to collaborate later in the iterative design process of IntelComp tools. You might see that in this order, first getting to know, then the context, and then defining the problem might be a bit counterintuitive to what we sometimes tend to do. But this is one of the key points of design thinking. It's important not to focus on challenges and solutions that seem or are relevant to us, but not to our users. So first we will emphasize and then define. After this definition, we will start with the ideation part, where in a brainstorming mode, we will be alternating between divergence, which is this kind of presence or activity where we will bring lots of options to the table, letting our mind be free, and then we will be converging or taking decisions, combining, synthesizing, and defining our ideas. Finally, in the prototyping part, we'll be creating early solutions that can, in a last phase, be tested to gather user feedback, without wasting time and resources developing functionalities that no one will use. As you can see in this picture, there are a lot of fundamentals which describe this mindset, but I would like to highlight two of them. The first one is the iteration and feedback. IntelComp, as you might know, is part of an European project, and that's why some of the tools that Joseba talks about before, for example, as IMT also, have some minimum functionalities already implemented. But now we need to work together and iterate those tools to make little adjustments and align them to your use cases and necessities. Speaking about interdisciplinary co-creation or getting everyone in the same room, we need a variety of expertise and knowledge and ways of thinking for IntelComp, and that's why we invited you all today. By having people create things together in the same room, even though you have different needs, use cases, or even come from different organizations, as you said before in your presentation, we will be able to increase ownership, have a better chance also to understand each other, and we'll be able to have the right kind of conversations. That's why later we will be co-creating in mixed groups. Okay. So all these fundamentals and the different steps in the process have a certain goal. I mentioned before that we want to iterate IntelComp tools, but this graphic is more specific. In the same thinking, we always want to talk about wanting to create solutions that are desirable, viable, and feasible. Desired by people, solving their problems, improving their lives and experiences, viable in an economic sense also as business projects, and feasible from a technical point of view. So everything we heard so far drives towards this goal, working with users, challenging assumptions, including people from different backgrounds to make sure it's viable, and in the end, finding this sweet spot of innovation in the middle. Perfect. So once we have seen a bit of more or less the methodology, along the design process, as you can see here, we will use some visual canvases to gather, organize, and filter data, insights, and feedback that shouldn't be lost in our way. And the first canvas that we will use in the exploration phase is the value proposition canvas. Okay, here you can see more or less how it looks and more or less the utility of it. Although David will also give us more detail in a minute about it, we already tried to emphasize with some of the users by defining some hypotheses about their needs, motivations, and concerns, and from there, generating value to IntelComp tools. In the right part of the canvas, here in the customer segment, we already identified some of our users' major jobs to be done. The pains they face also when they are trying to accomplish their jobs, and the gains they perceive by getting their jobs done. In the left part, in the value proposition canvas, we define the most important components of IntelComp and IMT. As you can see, we differentiate them with different colors, mentioning the services we offer now and how we relieve the pains and we generate gains, taking into account what users told us before. Okay, so after David's detail and also after your feedback, this canvas will help us adjusting IntelComp's value proposition based on the insights we gain from your evidence to achieve this product market fit. As David explains now, some of the hypotheses that are represented in these posits, we need your attention and feedback to know if we are right or if there is some information that we are not taking into consideration, no? Having into account maybe your jobs, the pains you are suffering now, and how this tool could help you in the future. For that, I will also, before David's presentation, share with you now a link to Mural with this online tool that I'm using to explain. So I ask you please to access. You will not need to register, and you will not even worry about moving through the canvas, because now I will explain as you come here the basics of the navigation so that you can start throwing in the mural your feedback and even your ideas as David explains the different parts of the value proposition canvas. Okay, I can see some animals here, a hippopotamus, a rabbit, an elephant. Okay, the controls are very basic. You will just need to click and drag to move through the mural. Okay, you will be able to zoom in and zoom out in the down part here, clicking in the minus and the plus. And with a double click, you will be able to create a post-it. Okay, so now David will explain both parts of the value proposition canvas. And as he talks about all the different parts, you will be able to even add your comments or your feedback. Okay, so David, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Asier. Yes, for my speech, I'm not going to use any PowerPoint presentation or any kind of formal presentation, but in order to keep your attention and make the event more attractive and participatory, as Asier has just said, I will use the mural as the background frame. So just as a reminder, even though Joseba has told about it, let me share with you that IntelComp is a project funded by the European Commission, and the main objective of IntelComp is the development of a software platform that, using the latest generation of artificial intelligence and natural language processing tools, provides relevant information for the management of public policies in the areas of science, technology, and innovation, in order to help decision making along the policy cycle. So both IntelComp and IMT is part of the IntelComp project, aim at differentiating themselves from other similar natural language processing solutions. I will use the value proposition canvas framework to explain it. But before diving into added value brought by IntelComp and interactive model trainer, as a particular tool of IntelComp. Let me explain something about what are the main possible jobs that a person interested in using NLP solutions might have. Okay, and these interests are irrespective of his or her profile as a policymaker, entrepreneur, researcher, etc. So what I'm going to do is to explain the customer segment of the canvas you see in the screen. So you see different posits, different nodes, and these nodes, these posits represent the jobs that are in the head of a person interested in using this kind of solutions. So what type of jobs can we or we can analyze or we can distinguish? First of all, analyze different documentary resources. So this kind of solutions, this kind of NLP solutions are useful in order to analyze documentary resources. These solutions are also useful to classify documents. In the case of the artificial intelligence living lab, these documents obviously are documents on artificial intelligence. What else? For example, ingest databases. So it's important to ingest databases in order to produce different results. What else? For example, visualize results. We can use this type of technologies in order to visualize results in a meaningful, in a user-friendly and useful way in order to conduct analysis. We can also create models, different models that are or maybe adapted to my interest as a stakeholder. We can also extract relevant topics on artificial intelligence and monitor how these topics that we have been able to extract are evolving over time. And we can also identify a field domain. Okay, so I'm going to go through this in the rest of the session, and Jerónimo will also perform a demo in order to clarify these jobs. But for the time being, let me just identify what are the main jobs. So so in order to address these jobs, we can have some pains or some gains. What are the gains and the pains that are in the head of the stakeholder willing to perform these kind of solutions? Let's start with the pains, first of all. So one of the most typical pains is that the tools that are in these solutions are not quite scalable. No? Another pain could be that the tools and the functionalities are completely given, so no changes are allowed, and this is kind of a straitjacket for the user of the tool. For example, another one can be that the databases cannot be ingested, so we have a very limited number of databases that can be ingested, and we are not allowed to ingest our databases. Different pain is also that the tools are not intuitive nor user-friendly, in the sense that if you are not an expert on artificial intelligence, it's quite difficult for you to manage the tool. Another pain could be that we have a very storage and working capacity to create the model. So probably the model will get blocked or will collapse, and we don't have any meaningful result. Another pain could be that we get very poor visualizations. And a final one could be that we have a code, and my own code cannot be reused in the tool or consumes too much time. So these are the typical pains that are in the head of any stakeholder willing to use this kind of natural language processing solutions. And what are basically the major gains to use this type of solutions? The policy decisions might be optimized. The workload may be simplified in terms of efficiency and cost. And new areas of research may be open. So you know that these kind of solutions may be used sometimes as a kind of scientometric or bibliometric research engine. Another gain could be that all user profiles, not specific profiles, but all kind of user profiles might benefit from the solutions provided by the tool. Another gain could be that the AI models can be customized and they can be aligned with the user needs. Or another gain could be that we can use heterogeneous data sources. So this is a kind of picture of jobs, gains, and pains that any person interested in performing this kind of tools might have. But I just want to know, and I just want to share with you if this picture makes sense, and if you miss anything from this customer segment canvas. So the floor is yours, stakeholders. If you want to contribute to this picture, it may be just putting new notes, or if you want to talk, you are more than invited to do it. I don't know if I said if someone has contributed with any kind of note or any kind.
Maybe they were listening to you. I just wanted to say also that here in the right part, I put some dots so that you can also vote for maybe the jobs that you share in your daily work. And also ask you if you don't want to write it in the post-it, you can also share it with us here in the chat or even talking.
Okay. So, I mean, what we can do, I don't know, I mean, you are the master of ceremonies, Asier, but I don't know if we can move to explain something else, or just...
Yeah, perfect. This is here. You can add anything when you want. Yeah, this is here open so that you can modify it. But yeah, perfect, David. We can go maybe to the value proposition part.
Okay, we can go for the value proposition. So the value proposition, you see that we have different nodes with different colors. So, and I will explain why we have different colors here. But so now it's time to explain what is the real value added provided by both IntelComp and Interactive Model Trainer as a particular tool of IntelComp. So what makes IntelComp and Interactive Model Trainer different from other natural language processing solutions? So in order to address this, the first thing to do is to go through the main services provided by both IntelComp and Interactive Model Trainer. So we all know what IntelComp is, but what is Interactive Model Trainer? So some insights have been provided by Joseba some minutes ago, but let me just share with you just a definition of what is Interactive Model Trainer. Interactive Model Trainer is basically a web-based tool that enables users to create, curate, integrate, and even visualize specific back office services that have been developed within IntelComp. Okay, and IMT is designed to be user-friendly and offers a wide range of functions for working with data sets from diverse sources and for managing processing pipelines and machine learning models. So you see that when analyzing services from the value proposition, we can distinguish between services that are properly IMT services from others that are more relevant to IntelComp as a whole project. That's why we have distinguished different different colors, no, in the post notes. Even though it's true that the distinction between IntelComp services and model trainer services is not so straightforward. But for analytical purposes, we have decided to make this distinction. So let's explain what are the main services provided by IMT, by Interactive Model Trainer. So the first service is the domain classification. And what is domain classification? Domain classification is basically the ability to predict whether a particular document belongs to a domain, okay, which has been previously defined by the algorithm. So if our domain is artificial intelligence, as it is the case, because this Living Lab is on artificial intelligence, this functionality, this domain classification, will provide an insight into what is AI and what is not AI. Okay, to obtain a detailed view of a particular field, it's necessary to define, first of all, the documents, the papers, the projects, the patents that belong to such field. So the domain classifier allows the user to select or define the knowledge area, which is the domain. The knowledge area is the domain. And by virtue of the domain classification, we will be able to to classify a document according to a given taxonomy. So, for example, IPC in the case of patents, or NATSE in the case of a sector or field of science or whatever. So this is something that can be possible to do in the IMT. So a different service that is possible to perform in IMT is topic modeling. Okay, and what is topic modeling? Topic modeling basically implies analyzing a corpus of text documents and automatically identifying and characterizing the most relevant topics appearing in the document collection. Okay, it's like it extracts the main topics that are appearing, are arising in the document collection. And this topic modeling, in the case of IMT, can be flat or hierarchical. So different levels of granularity are allowed. So a different service that is available in IMT, expert in the loop and curation tool. So the expert may be involved, and in the case of AI, Living Labs is an expert on AI, may be involved in the curation of the model. So this is quite important. This is an expert in the loop tool. So let's go through IntelComp as a whole. So in the case of IntelComp, the most important services have to do with end user tools that are provided. So thanks to IntelComp, ex-ante evaluations of proposals. I see that some people are coming from the public administration. This is hopefully quite or might be quite relevant for you. You can perform a kind of evaluation of proposals thanks to this evaluation workbench. This functionality is to be completed, but it's part of IntelComp. Okay, this is not IMT. This is a different functionality. This is connected to IMT, but this is something that belongs to IntelComp. Okay, and then analysis or comparison of visualization of science, technology, and innovation components can be also performed thanks to a different tool, which is the STI viewer or STI participation portal. So different tools will be available, okay, along this year. So these services, you see that we have a broad picture of services, and the services will foster some gains and also inhibit some pains. Okay, as you see in the canvas, it is also possible to distinguish between the IMT panes. So the IMT panes are colored in pink. Okay, and you see that there are some panes that are more aligned to IntelComp as a project, and these panes are colored in green. And there are some pains, even some pains that both apply to IMT and IntelComp, and these are colored in orange. Okay, but let me just go very briefly go through these gains and pains. So what are the pains that hopefully IntelComp and IMT are removing or are trying to remove? Let's start with IntelComp. In the case of IntelComp, the visualizations are very robust. So very robust. So these visualizations are quite strong, and this is something that we're somehow very proud of. In the case of IMT, the pains that are eliminated have to do with the ability to compare different kind of data. So very different, very heterogeneous data can be ingested in IMT. And if we go through, I mean, pains that are applying both to IntelComp and IMT, we can say that this is an open platform, and as an open platform can be fed with different kind of data, and data from any domain. So in this sense, flexibility is favored with respect to specificity. Okay, in this platform. What else? This platform has a very powerful storage and working capacity. Why? Because we have joined forces with the Barcelona Supercomputing Center, and it implies that we have a good memory and computation scalability. Okay. What else? The tool is accessible everywhere. So this is a web-based service. Sorry. And a final pain that I would like to reinforce is that the co-creation is in the heart of this project. So as you can see, we are giving the floor to you as stakeholders. So you will be part of the final definition of these tools. Okay. And as for the co-creation of gains, I'm going through this very fast because I don't want to monopolize the discussion. So let me first concentrate on gains applying to IntelComp as a project. So what is important from IntelComp is that the different tools are very much connected. So I mentioned before the evaluation workbench and the STI participation portal and STI viewer and even the IMT. So all these pieces are pieces of the puzzle, and the different pieces completely add up, in the sense that these pieces are very well connected, and it implies that I mean, some efficiency gains may be obtained or might be obtained because we have been very cautious in order to avoid time and effort, and some kind of synergies have arisen from this connection of tools. So what else? The tools are quite interactive, and this facilitates the exploitation of results and the finding of relevant information. It allows the personalized model exploitation, and also we have, I mean, this IntelComp project has been deployed under high power computing center with remote training. So this is something relevant as well. In terms of INT, what are the main gains obtained? So different algorithm solutions have been provided. As you will see in the demo deployed by Jerónimo, and there are different algorithmic solutions to optimize results. The users can train the models, so you will be able to create your own models in the tool. And the analysis is very granular. So the tool, the platform provides different granularity levels. So finally, both IMT and IntelComp have some gains. What are the main gains? First major gain is that the functionalities are landed in different domains, and these domains are the living labs. Remember that we are running the artificial living labs, but other living labs are available. So we have a representative here, Aurelien, from the health living lab, which is being rolled out by our French colleagues from HCRS. Models are also fairly interpretable. The models that are created are fairly interpretable because the experts contribute to the process, and these models are incorporating expert knowledge. So as you see, I mean, we have a very complex puzzle of services provided, gains that are created, and some pains that hopefully are eliminated by the deployment of IntelComp project. Okay, so now that I have pictured more or less what is IntelComp and what is INT, what I'm going to do is to give the floor to Jerónimo García from Universidad Carlos III, who is showing us a brief demo of IMT. Okay, so he's showing us the main functionalities of IMT, taking into account that, I mean, this is a very limited session, and we have about 15-20 minutes for performing the demo. So, Jerónimo, the floor is yours.
Okay, so thank you, David. So let me share my screen. If we can share the mural just for 1 minute, Asier, because I would like to start with this figure that we have, where I am the interactive model trainer. IMT is in the middle of other tools. That's the one. Yeah. So yeah, this plot, this figure you have here, just tries to emphasize the fact that the interactive model trainer is not, you know, I think it's a tool which is being designed with the user in mind, but it's also to some extent an auxiliary tool that we can use to create information that is going to be exploited by some other final user tools in IntelComp. So this plot gives you the idea that we use information that we retrieve from the catalog that we have in IntelComp, and we have different sources of information, mostly open data. And then the results that we obtain from the interactive model trainer, these are exploited in the other tools like the STI viewer, the evaluation workbench. And I will tell you very briefly at the beginning of my presentation in what respect we can exploit the information that we obtain from the interactive model trainer. Okay, so now I will share my screen with you. Okay, so can you see my screen? Yeah? No?
Yes.
Now everyone. I saw some faces saying no before. Okay, but now I guess everyone is able to see it. So yeah, I mean, very briefly, what are these other tools that I was mentioning before? We have the data catalog. So why I'm showing this? Because essentially we have different sources of information here. We can select, and everything is connected inside IntelComp. So the user will be able to come here to the OpenAir graph, for instance, then select some part of the OpenAir graph. Okay, so I don't know, maybe I did not authenticate myself, but the idea is here you will be able to select to apply some filters, so you can just select publications from some period in time, and then this will get downloaded and will be available for the interactive model trainer, where you will be able to carry out the analysis. Okay, and then I'm gonna show you very briefly a different tool that we have, which is the one where we can visualize the information. which is the STA viewer. This is not going to be the only tool that we have that is going to be able to exploit the results of the interactive model trainer. We'll also have the STA participation portal and the evaluation workbench, okay? But for the purpose of today's session, it's enough to refer to this one, where you can see that when you browse data, you can browse according to different criteria, and then you are, so to say, analyzing a particular data set of your interest. This is, for instance, energy from European Union, okay? So this selection of energy or any other domain of your interest, you can see here that we are studying artificial intelligence. We're gonna have here health, okay? So the selection of the domain, the publications, the patents that fall within each of these domains is gonna be something that we will be able to do with the interactive model trainer. Or for instance, if you come here and analyze energy, for instance, you see that we can split down the analysis by some more granular topics. Well, this is also something, I mean, this disaggregation dimension that we can train and obtain with interactive model trainer using topic modeling that has been described before. And the idea of the interactive model trainer is precisely to help the users in the training, in the construction of these models for identification of domain, for topic analysis, so that in the end, the results that they see, that they obtain and are able to visualize in this tool are aligned to their own expectations. Because some of these artificial intelligence models otherwise will provide information which is not 100% intuitive. If you're familiarized with topic modeling, for instance, there are many topics that might be a little bit redundant, or some of them might not be very meaningful, okay? Well, now I'm moving to the interactive model trainer. As I said, this the main focus of the session today. And the main idea here is that the objective of this tool, as I have said, is to help the users to train the domain models, the domain classification models, and the topic models. And we developed this tool because we want to provide an expert in the loop approach to these problems, so that through the use of this tool, experts which are not artificial intelligence practitioners can train the models with very little knowledge of the underlying tools. And also we want to simplify the deployment of these tools, right? Because I mean, if you wanna, nowadays it's not too complicated. Anyone can obtain and use some code to create topic models, some automatic classification. But on the one hand, with a web service like the one we have here, you don't need to take care of any installation, any configuration issues. You simply have, you know, all the functionalities here, and the training is going to be deployed at Barcelona Supercomputing with a lot of computation facilities. So this is simplifying the task a lot already. And then we also have, through this ecosystem of tools, we have this connected to the other tools of IntelComp, to the data catalog, to the interactive model trainer, okay? So what are the main menus of the application? So it is structured under 3 different menus. Then first one is the corpora. This is the data sets that we are gonna use to train our artificial intelligence models on. Then we have models, and under models we have the domain classification, and we have the topic modeling. Okay, and we might have a third supervised classification model type here, but it's not yet available. And then we have a word list menu where we have auxiliary list of words that we can use for different purposes when we do the topic modeling or the domain classification. So I will go through each of them now. So regarding the raw corpora, this is the information that we downloaded from the data catalog. So for instance, here you see that I got European projects, I got PadStat, I got publications, and many of them are not the complete PadStat, but it's already been filtered according to certain criteria. Okay. Now, all the application, you have the possibility to activate or deactivate some of the upper categories of information that are displayed, or you have the possibility to filter the different entries in the list that are shown according to different criteria, or to the creator, for instance, if you want to show only your own entries in the list. Okay. Well, this is raw corpora. As I said, this is just information that we got from the data catalog. And then we have something that we call logical corpora, which is going to be the actual training corpora that are going to be used for either domain classification or topic modeling. The reason that we have raw on logical is because we expect that in some cases, the user might be interested in building a joint model by putting together different raw corpora. Okay, so we might, I don't know, for instance, want to train a topic model that considers at the same time, I don't know, patents and publications in artificial intelligence, right? So we can put them together in only one logical corpora, and this logical corpora that we have here, we have created already a few of them, are going to be the inputs for the training of the different models. And we can create new ones. So you can say that it's either for topic modeling or a domain classification, and you can add a corpus here, and you can add more than one if you want. Okay, so this is the idea. I will not go through this because the presentation today is expected to be short, and we will have a hands-on session scheduled for, I don't know, 3 weeks from now. Okay, then for the models part, we have domain models, which are the domain classification models, or we have topic models. So for the topic models, the idea is the following. We are providing two different ways to train the classification models. We can either start from a list of keywords, okay? And then if I pick a list of keywords here, I can simply add some keywords in this text box here, or I can use some predefined list of keywords that I have already stored using the word list functionality. Okay, so I have some information here, which is maybe not relevant for anyone. We can, we are considering hiding some of this information or showing only for advanced users. Okay, and then once everything is being selected, we have also picked some corpus for the training, and we have given a name to the data set. We can start the creation of the model. This will start running a Docker at the Barcelona supercomputing, and I will not run that because it takes very long, and or a bit long, depending on the size of the data set. And then after a result of that, we have the different domain classification models trained and available for us. What can we do once we have the models? We can evaluate the model, we can carry out a classification on a given data set, or something that we could do is to try to offer the user the possibility to provide a curation to the model. So the user will be able to see what is the output of the model and provide feedback on whether some of the classifications are not correct in his or her opinion. And then he will be able to retrain and fine-tune the model according to the feedback. Okay. So, well, if this needed, Jesus knows much more than I do about this part. I have mostly focused on the topic modeling part, which I'm showing next. The idea here is, the structure is similar. We have here the list of the different topic models that we have created. As I said before, we can show different options here in the top menu. And then we can also filter according to different criteria. Okay, or I could select to show only my own models here. Okay, if I filter according to that. Now for the creation of a new model, the working mechanisms are again pretty much the same. So I will say, okay, I want to train on queries or any other dataset which I have already defined. I can provide a name here. This will be the name of the model. And I have different technologies at my disposal for the training of the model. If you're familiarized, I know some of you come from enterprises with quite a technological background. So we have a Mallet, which is Bayesian topic modeling, which is a very well-tested technology. But we have also other approaches. We have a Spark LDA, which is just standard topic modeling, but optimized for parallel deployment in Spark clusters. And we have neural network-based approaches. These are the CTM and the Prod LDA. Okay, so I will do the same. I will just introduce any description if I want. And then there are some parameters here that I can change myself, or I can select a list of stop words, which are terms which are not relevant for the analysis, or equivalent terms. Okay, so I will say a few words about this in a minute. And then again, advanced users are given more options than standard users. So again, we're still deciding what information should be visible for everyone and which information should be visible only for the advanced users. Okay, so I will start as before the training there, and then the information will be, the training will be carried out at Barcelona Supercomputing. And once the model is trained, it will appear here in the list. There are some notification systems that display here when the training is complete. Okay. Well, now I have that. So let's see what I can do with the topic models and how I can incorporate the expert knowledge that I was mentioning before to the different topic models which I have created. Because right now, if I create a topic model, this will be a fully unsupervised model. So imagine that I select this one, which is Cordis test. So here to the right, I have some metadata for the model. And here in the down part, I have some descriptions of the models and some labels that have been created by the system automatically. I can actually modify this myself. I will show you in a minute how. Okay. So this is information about the topic model, or alternatively, I could also visualize using a representation like this, where I can move through the different topics, and then the information of any of the topics according to the most relevant terms appear here to the right. Okay. So this is for visualizing the model, either the description here in the down menu or the LDA visualization. Then I can do curation. I can label topics myself, so I can modify the labels for the different topics. And this is relevant because if you remember before, in the STA viewer, the disaggregation was according to topic. So these labels will be the ones that will be displayed in the STA viewer. Okay. Or if I find that some of these topics, for instance, topic 1 and 2, are very much the same, or I want them to be considered as a unique topic, I can merge, simply merge the topics, or delete some topics which I find are not relevant. And the tool itself provides some information, for instance, about the topics which might be considered very similar as kind of a an aid for the user to decide on what to delete or how to merge different topics, which different topics should be merged. Okay. And then the final functionality that we have incorporated here to the tool, which can be visualized with this particular one, is the possibility to do some hierarchical topic modeling. So for instance, here we have a topic of the European projects with 25 topics. And then for topic 3, we have created a submodel, which is just trained on the documents that were relevant for topic 3 from the first level topic model. Okay, so this means in bare words that we do some topic modeling of the whole corpora of the complete data set. We identify the main topics that define that corpora, and then if we are interested in having a look at one of the topics that we identified with a finer level of detail, then we can, so to say, iterate that analysis only for the topic of our interest, okay? And we can do that for any model. We simply select here one of the topics. If I'm interested in this one, then I will be able to create a submodel for that topic, okay? Well, this is about the models, about the word list. I mean, this is pretty standard. So I will be given the choice to create new keywords or to edit some of the lists that I have are already available for me. And as I said before, the objective of this word list are either keywords that can be used for the training of the domain classification models, or the stop words or equivalent terms that I can use for topic modeling. Okay. And well, this is pretty much the status of the tool nowadays. It's been very much, its design is very much being focused or directed by the commitments that we have in the grant agreement of IntelComp. Okay, so this has defined a lot of the functionalities that we have incorporated there. And right now we are working with Living Labs of IntelComp to modify functionalities, to add new functionalities that is maybe missing and is very relevant for them. And precisely the objective also of the workshop today and the different workshops that we will have with the stakeholders is to get your feedback also so that we can improve and take them into account for the different tools, for the interactive model trainer, but also for the other tools of the project. Okay, so that was it. Thank you. We cannot hear you, Asier.
Okay, thank you very much, Jerónimo, for your presentation.
Sorry, it was a little bit fast, but I didn't have much time and I wanted to cover everything. But of course, I mean, if anyone is interested or want to have more details on the technical aspects or functionality aspects, feel free to ask at any point today or later on.
Perfect, Jero. As we said earlier, well, I would like to make maybe a recap of what we have seen until now. We have been seeing, no, what are the bases and why we built, in this case, IntelComp and INT. Maybe checking the hypothesis that David explained us of the jobs that you can have in your daily basis nowadays, and the pains and the gains you suffer, and how IntelComp and INT is trying to solve them, no, as Jero showcases us in a visual way. We try also to capture some of the images of Jero's presentation, so that also you can be inspired by all those menus, the UX and the user interaction. And now it's the moment of beginning the ideation phase. With all that inspiration that we have seen before, now we will be grouped. As you can see here, we prepared 3 groups, having into account the people that we are here, with the idea that you can give us feedback in terms of new functionalities, maybe fine-tuning. No, if you saw that some of the screens or the functionalities are not aligned with your necessities, and even some tweaks we should do in the UX part. So now I will give you 5 minutes maybe to stay here in silence and maybe give you also the opportunity to go back to that value proposition, check if your pains or your gains are being covered, and even checking some of the captures of Hero's presentation to start thinking on ideas you would add to in this case INT. So I will now put some music for 5 minutes, and later on we will go to groups so that you can discuss your necessities, also share your ideas inside the group, and finally try to filter those ideas that you give us, taking into account the impact that they suppose in your daily basis, if it suppose a low impact or a high impact. In that way, the development team of these tools can have your ideas and your necessities into account and prioritize them in the development plan of the tools. Okay. So as I said, I will leave now 3 minutes in silence so that you can go back, revisit the proposition, look through the screens, and start annotating some of those ideas so that when you go to the groups, you can have something to discuss. Okay? Is there any doubt or anything you would like to ask? Okay, so we will stay here in silence, okay, through 3 minutes, and later on we will see how we created the groups, and we will give you access to the groups also, so that you can discuss all these things. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Perfect. Time is up. I think now it's the moment of, as we said, working together, sharing also our experiences, our knowledge together. That's why, as I said earlier, we already created some groups, as you can see here. If you wish, you can first of all find your name in one of the posits here, and you can click in the posit, change the color of it, for example, to a green color, so that we know that you are there. Okay. If you have any difficulties, we can skip this phase, but in that way you also start a bit working with Mural, so that it will be easier for the group work later. In group 1 we have to Jero, Javier Díaz, Gerasimos, María Dolores, and Juan Martínez. Okay. In group 2 we have María Teresa, Utku, David, Juan, and Pedro Prado. And in group 3 we have Lorena Calvo, Llanos, María Barroso, Joseba, and JC Muros. Juan Gerardo. Perfect. Is there anyone that doesn't have any group?
I think so, Asier, because as I see from Teams, there are 19 people, and if I'm not wrong, how many posits do we have? I think we have 12, no?
Yeah, but I didn't put, for example, mine one because I will be going through the groups. Yeah, and Danny also neither.
Okay.
In my case, I can enter in the group unit.
Okay, so I will now paste in the Teams chat the groups links so that you can meet with your colleagues there. And the idea, as I said, is to add ideas, functionalities regarding these 3 themes that you can see here in green, related maybe to the fine-tuning of the tool that Jero showcased us. Remember that here you have the images so that you can have the reference, and also in the groups we will have the help of David, Jero, and Jesus in case you have any doubt. Also, if you hearing all our presentation, you come up with new functionalities, you can add them here. And if you have also changes remaining the UX part of the tool, you can add them here too. Okay, and in the final part, the idea will be to copy some of the ideas and functionalities and try to put them in this matrix where you can define if they are low impact for your daily basic or not, or are more high impact. So as I said, I will share the links here, and we will have for now 10 minutes, okay, but don't worry because we will go through the teams. And the idea here is to discuss, to hear each other, talk about your necessities, talk about the things that were more attractive for you when you hear the presentation or the doubts you have also about the application. Okay. You don't need to leave this presentation. Just click in the links. You will go to the teams. Okay, Jose Antonio. Sorry for letting you back. I will add you in the second group. Okay, if it's okay for you. Okay, so see you in 10 minutes. Okay, we will come back in 10 minutes here. Okay, we are arriving. Sorry for making you wait. We have some problems with the groups, but it's something we learn for future also workshops, that maybe we can share group links if you are accessing with the Explorer. So we will have that into account. Okay. Now, David, Jero, I don't know if you want to share also some of the comments that happened in the groups. If someone also has any question or wants to add any feedback, any suggestion about the functionalities, the UX of the tool. And now, if you want, we can spend this last minutes to comment this all together.
Yes, Maria Teresa had some questions. It was about what is the added value of the real added value of IntelComp, because it seems that the topic modeling seems like this is not old-fashioned but very popular technology, and we have been discussing what is the main breakthrough of IntelComp. I think it incorporates neural networks, and also the fact that the IntelComp is very much on co-creation. So you can use IntelComp without any profound knowledge of artificial intelligence. So this is more or less what has been debated in our case, and also to emphasize the fact that the IntelComp is very much composed of different pieces. So we have discussed here the heart of IntelComp, which is the topic modeling and the domain selection, but it's definitely linked to other pieces of information, the STIB, where evaluation workbench, and maybe in this session, what is lacking is the broad perspective of IntelComp, because if I mean the different pieces of IntelComp are not explained, probably you lack the real added value of IntelComp. Okay, so this is something that we have learned from the session. I don't know if someone else can contribute with any other suggestion.
Also, David, I would like to know maybe if some of the stakeholders that are were outside which is IntelComp now, if they have the same pains or gains that we have been working in the value proposition, because if not, it will be interesting also how can we change or even adapt the tool so that it's useful also for your daily basis. No? So if you want, you can now tell us, or even you can send us by mail or your feedback or suggestions.
Okay, so I think as we are running towards the end of the session, I think we should give some final words and some words on next steps, if you agree, Asier, because
yeah, perfect.
We are 5 minutes to 12. So you see that we have tried to co-create at this session, but this is not the end of co-creation at INT. So as we mentioned it in the beginning, this was intended to be a first contact, a high-level co-creation session, which is rather restricted both in scale and scope. In fact, you as stakeholders were not empowered to train the models. You were just IMT watchers, but not real players. And in order to effectively play with IMT, and for those who are willing to experiment with IMT firsthand, you are kindly invited to get involved in a hands-on practical session. And this session will take place at FECIT headquarters in Alcobendas. It was the place when we held our kickoff session. And the session will be held in principle on the 22nd of June from 10 to 12. This will be in-person session, and a registration form to be part of this session will be sent. So our idea is to invite a small number of stakeholders, namely 5 or 6, but some kind of flexibility may apply if you are really interested. A co-creation activity will be also rolled out to improve interaction. Obviously, this won't be a hackathon, but we think that some important knowledge spillovers will be or might be raised, driven by our physical presence at FECIT. This session will be delivered in Spanish for obvious reasons. And this will be also a bring your own device session. So that is every stakeholder attending the session will bring his or her device to access the IntelComp tools. All you need is a device, as the Wi-Fi connection will be provided by FECIT and also the access to the IntelComp platform. If necessary, a second practical session at FECIT might be organized during the last week of June, depending on our needs. But further information will be ready in short. Okay. And let me say something about the plans after the summer. So after the summer, some other events will be organized by the Living Lab, the AI Living Lab, and this will also involve co-creation practices. The aim of this event is twofold. On the one hand, to share with you as IntelComp stakeholders the rest of IntelComp functionalities, emphasizing how the tools might be useful for the purposes of the AI Living Lab, and on the other hand, to help finish the elaboration of the tools. Okay, basically the STI viewer and the STI participation portal. So I hope this meeting has clarified some of the doubts you may have about IntelComp and interactive model trainer in particular. So thank you very much for your attendance here, and stay tuned. I don't know, Asier, if you want to say something, or
yeah, yes, wanted to clarify that this mural will be open for you, also accessible, so that you can also take again a look to the value proposition canvas, all the pages, and even try to add some ideas to the canvases, because we will try to be in contact with you also, in case you want to see how the tool is evolving and how we are taking into account your suggestions. And also, just to end up, also taking again in the design thinking methodology into account, we also want to continue working on this kind of sessions. So it will be really helpful for us if you could give us some feedback about the workshop itself. Speaking about maybe what did you like it the most, what would you change, or what would you do differently, and maybe hearing Jero and David, if you know someone or any organization that could be interested in this, so that we can add them to the loop. So you can also write us here in the chat or even talk, but yeah, here in Mural you can also add deposits with information. And for me, that's it. I'm sorry for the problems we had with the groups, but hopefully we can continue working on this.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Stay tuned and see you in the next IntelComp event. Thanks and bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.